Of course, Come To Us is giving away one of my light dark units for free. For those of you that may not know, Dark Steel Commander is the Walmart brand of Dark Ezio. They do the same thing, they just have a different label. So for this showcase, I'll be using the original brand. Dark Ezio is an attack type unit with a first skill that attacks the enemy that ignores all damage reduction effects, a second skill that attacks the enemy 2 times to decrease its defense with an 80% chance and stun for 1 turn with a 50% chance. Keep in mind throughout the video that I haven't fully skilled up his first and second skills. His third skill is a passive that attacks additionally with an attack that cannot be counterattacked when you attack the enemy on your turn. The additional attack will always land as a critical hit, and the damage is increased by 100% if you attack a light attribute monster. And he has a leader skill that increases allies' accuracy by 48% in Arena. For this video, I have him on Rage Will, attack, crit damage, attack. I think a lot of people think this guy is underwhelming.
Storage Guardian till buff.
But some people get why he's worth building. Here's a quick glance at where he's being used and how others are building him. Then we will get into the damage test. His first skill has an attack multiplier of 3.8, his second skill has an attack multiplier of 3.2 on each attack, and his third skill has an attack multiplier of 2.4 with the addition of 100% increased damage against light attribute monsters. Here's how that damage looks against a non-light monster. There are 2 PvE spots that I think he can be useful in. The first is the Light Rift Beast because of the additional damage he can deal against the light attribute boss. Crow will still deal a bit more damage, but this guy is a good secondary damage dealer. The other dungeon I think he can be really good for is Necro. For this, and honestly in general, I would recommend building him on Violent. He has a multi-hit on each attack, and he's a good alternative option from the Fire Magic Knight. Some things worth noting though is that his passive will not activate on Team Up or Revenge. I'm hoping Come To Us fixes that because it would make him so much better. For PvP, he really shines as a counter against really tanky and annoying light units. However, if you're going to build him with a lot of attack and little HP like mine, I would recommend making him faster to kill the light unit before he gets killed by it, or pair him with something like a Chandra or even a Fedora for protection. Here's a few examples of how you can use him to nuke down tanky light units. He can't one-shot the light golem because of its passive, but he still takes it down pretty easily because he hits multiple times. But just to really highlight how strong he is against light units, I built this warbear with over 60,000 HP if you include the leader skill and maxed out HP tower. He completely obliterates it and would have done around 80,000 damage if the defense break was applied before his first attack. But what really makes him unique is the part of his passive skill that doesn't allow him to be counterattacked. Here's some examples of this passive working in action. Don't forget he will always crit with his passive's attack, which makes him great against things like Fire Striker and Kinky. Something worth noting though, is that he can still be counter-attacked by things like Defend and win Monkey King's passive. This is because you are not directly attacking those units. Also, he counters Artemil really heavily, but I couldn't find one to showcase for this video. You can also use him in Arena for his leader skill and his single target cleanup on tanky light units like the one on this defense. Normally, I would use Dark Beast Rider or another AoE attack bar reset monster, but since there's a Triana, I had to use Wind Fairy King against this defense. Also, his leader skill is a little bit better. But of course, we still got resisted by the Wusa. But it's okay, because Ezio does enough damage to one-shot this thing even with the shield, right? I hope by now you are fully convinced to build this guy. I have one more clip to show you in RTA, which is really just a failed attempt at a team comp I tried building around him. The idea here was to defend him with Chandra and give him provoke plus counterattack with Altair. This was before I realized that when he counterattacks, his passive doesn't activate for the additional hit, but his skill 1 is still pretty good though, since it ignores damage reduction effects. If you're going to use him in RTA, I suggest only using him when your opponent picks specific things like tanky light monsters or the counterattack monsters I showed earlier. Also, I kept him on the same slow rune since I was picking a Leo as part of the team. Anyway, enjoy the rest of the match and let me know in the comments who I should convince you to build next.
But it's real being a slick head.